In this video, we're going to be talking about comparing different groups. And most of the time in statistics, we don't want to just look at one group. We want to look at two groups. And really, it could be the same group doing a pre and a post test. What happens as we change? And we can compare those. So a lot of time we're talking about comparing. So let's look at some different groups. So histograms, we want to look at the shape, the center, and the spread of these two, and I will give you a little bit of time to write down what you think this graphical display will tell you. Some things that I noticed that you should have talked about, and if not, please enter it and you add it to your notes, is that the peaks here are higher. So it is unimodal. It has a larger peak here than in the fall and the winter. The fall and the winter data is more symmetric. There really isn't a lot of difference between these different values for the number of days that you have the average wind speed being these values. You also notice that in fall and winter there is an outlier here. If that were removed, it would be pretty symmetric. The greatest days, you have most of the days being about 1, miles per hour as the wind speed, and then you have less days above 4 average wind speed. Let's see. So they're both pretty similarly spread out. But the most important is that the center is here, closer to 1, and the center here is closer to 3. That's another thing that you could mention. Okay. Now we're going to look at box plots and comparing the same data, or I'm sorry, this is from January to December. And what do you notice about these box plots? Some of the things to notice with the box plots are July has the lowest median, or the smallest spread of the wind during that month. We've got the most outliers in the month of November, so you've got more days that are windier than in the other months, that are extreme values of windy than the other months. You can talk about where these medians lie. Talk about skewness, that overall the mins and maxes are it's fairly symmetrical, but once we get closer to the summer, in the summer months, you see that there is less difference between the min and the max. That's another thing to mention. Okay. If there are any outliers, you want to report and you're reporting the mean and standard deviation, report them with the outliers present and then with the outliers removed, much like I just did in the previous one with the box plots. The median and the interquartile range are not affected by outliers. Okay, so here's another one. I found this article. You're actually going to read a little part of this article. So you want to write down in your notes 5 sentences describing what you notice about these box plots. So you're going to talk about shape, center, spread, where the medians are, over time, what happened. Okay, when you're done with that, go back to Classroom. There's an article on Tuesday's class, and I want you to find this. This was a study that was done. You can certainly read more information. We'll talk about Six Sigma a little bit so you have a better understanding of what that means and how that relates to businesses. But this is the only part that I want you to read because they describe what they noticed and then they represented it with these box plots. Okay, and that is it. And make sure you answer those in Edpuzzle so I can look over your thoughts. That's it.